First night, it's a story that we've been following since it first broke. An officer accused in the murder of an Oxford woman making his first court appearance today. Our cameras were there as Matthew Kinney entered the courthouse. He is charged in the death of Dominique Clayton after she was found dead at her home on Suncrest Drive. But it's what happened inside of the courtroom today that left the victim's family visibly upset. Family members say they were emotional with what they say was the judge's lighthearted approach to the proceedings, and that judge left open the possibility that a bond could be set next week.
We don't want a bond. Matthew Kinney committed murder, and we do not want him out. We support them, and we will stand by them, and we will be direct that we do not support a bond.
And now, with a bond possibly on the table for a man accused of murder, family and friends of Clayton are left with more questions than answers. WTVA's Evan Hensley sat down with Clayton's family today. He is joining us live in Oxford with their reaction.
And it all happened here behind me at the Lafayette County Courthouse, where Kenny appeared before a judge. His bond hearing was delayed to provide more time to discuss bond. But after that hearing, the family of the victim, Dominique Clayton, shared their frustrations.
This is a joke. Stop it. We're going to handle this. I'm going to do something with this.
Bessie Clayton, the mother of Dominique, spoke with the media about the decision to delay bond.
Oh,
the question why
God.
Kenny should have a say.
They should discuss with him what his bond should be. We need help in Oxford. We need intervention in Oxford.
Many members of Clayton's family came to share what they knew about Clayton and Kenny's relationship.
Yeah, so we tried to protect her, but this time he just caught us slipping. Because we thought, it was going to... She said he ain't going to do nothing.
He's going to dealerships buying her cars in public with her. Everybody knows. Not only one person knew, it wasn't just two, everybody knew.
And during this chaos, the attorney for Kenny said this is all standard procedure.
That's how most cases are handled. This case is no different, unfortunately, than any other case when it comes to the constitutional rights of the defendant.
White power. The South will rise again. I'm still fucking up with these goddamn screen recorder apps. That stupid fucking bar is coming down on this one too. And now I got this shit in the fucking way. What the fuck? Sorry about that, guys. So, how many times do we have to go through this? When two of you brothers sent me this story, I really wasn't interested. I'll be honest with y'all. I was not originally interested in doing a video on this because I have already nearly half a dozen other videos that I'm trying to get off of my docket. Some major news stories have come down the pipe within the last week. And you know, when I saw this, the first thing I thought to myself was, okay, another swirler that met her demise deifying white dick. I mean, it is what it is. That's where we're at in the year 2019. It wasn't until I saw this news report and when I saw some screenshots that Tariq Nasheed took of this, what's her name? Dominique Clayton's Facebook page, that I got interested. Now, as you heard, this woman was murdered by this Mississippi police officer. What's this motherfucker's name? Shit, I gotta scroll. Matthew Kine, in a domestic dispute. Now, that in and of itself is not surprising, because I'll tell you guys, I've told you this before. The first time I heard of a swirler getting murdered by a white dude was this girl who was an amateur model, 18 years old, 18 or 19, all the way back in 2008, when I first started kind of getting a little taste of reality when it came to black women. Her name was Jacqueline Villa Gomez. she was dating this Iraqi war veteran who had done 3 tours in fucking Iraq, and he had what they call it, post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, this white dude and her, they were dating for 8 months, and they got into some type of dispute one night after coming home from a store, because they caught them on surveillance cameras. Police caught them on surveillance cameras to confirm that they were together, you know, earlier that night before the incident happened. And she was in his crib, and apparently people were saying that she caught him with some white females or something, and she called herself confronting him over it. And this was a big dude. I forget his name, but I mean, things got out of hand, and he beat the holy hell out of this broad. I mean, he beat her so hard, there was blood splatter all over the walls where the attack happened. And I've seen blood splatter in situations where a person gets shot. I've seen it in situations where people get stabbed, where they get blown up, but not like this, where somebody's beating somebody with their bare fists. And he killed this girl, and then he turned himself in. Later, I think he committed suicide or something. But when I saw that, that was my first time getting a whiff of what is actually going on behind closed doors in a lot of these relationships where these black females seek out white men who are as dysfunctional as they are. Because see, what a lot of these swirlers don't seem to understand is that they instinctively pick the worst of the worst type of dudes, because they are the worst of the worst type of females, okay? Which is why Crystal and Kerosene, y'all recall, I did that 4-part video series, and I said in it several times, and people on Lipstick Alley unknowingly co-signed with me, you cannot divest from yourself, okay? You cannot run away from what you have created. Because all you're going to do is you're going to go from a thug to a crazy ass white boy, or a broke ass white boy, or a combination of both. Okay? We know, of course, that not every white dude with a black female, you know, flies off the handle like this. But we also know that we've seen a lot of cases where black women have been both verbally and physically attacked, in some cases even killed, by these savage white dudes that they decide to get with. And why? Because the dudes that they're, you know, in relationships with, or in this case, fucking around with, as you heard in the report, are just as dysfunctional and just as fucked up as they are. And somehow they think just because this dude has white skin that that's going to make him better than the Pookies and Ray Rays that they were fooling around with. Now, when they said that this black woman had 4 children, I initially thought that, you know, she was a long-time swirler and that her kids were probably biracial, until I saw her GoFundMe page that somebody set up for her. Now, as you can clearly see, this is something that was set up by someone just 2 days ago. As you can clearly see, each and every one of her children, her 4 children, are black. I'm talking about as black as her, which means that this woman was in a relationship, or she was messing around with black men back in the day, okay? And that helped her produce not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 black, not biracial, 4 beautiful black children, okay? Of course, as we know, since she was screwing around with this Matthew Kine white cop that allegedly killed her by shooting her in the back of the head, she wasn't with any of these black men, which indicates to me one of several things. One of the things it's an indication of to me is that like Crystal and Kerosene and a lot of these butthurt, bitter black females, she probably started buying into that whole pink package, pink pill retreat nonsense, and all that, get you a white knight and all your troubles will be over, and divest from Blackistan crap. Not realizing the mere fact that she has 4 children, but she doesn't have a husband. She has to sleep with someone else's husband is an indication, it is indicative of why she is single and has to fuck somebody else's man in the first place. See, I don't know how many fucking times we have to go through this. What black women, particularly black women, okay? Because white women collectively, they do fuck up, but they switch, they do what David Carroll calls switching up their play. They don't run the same play every time they, the quarterback yells hike and they go running across the field. They switch up their play. Black women often, they run the same play. You heard her mouthy, ratchet kind of a mother on there talking about she gonna do something about this. You ain't gonna do nothing. Cause you can't do nothing. Okay? You're dating and fucking a married white cop in Mississippi, in Emmett Till, Mississippi. And then you get in some type of an argument with this dude in Mississippi. And you expect that this dude is not gonna be offered bond by a judge in a state justice system that allowed the murderers of Emmett Till to get off scot-free for not only murdering but dismembering that boy. This is the state of Mississippi. Mississippi will always be Mississippi. I don't give a fuck what's going on in this country. Mississippi is always going to be somewhat racist. It is what it is. Now, I'm not saying that racism had anything to do with this situation, but I brought this up several times about the movie that, what's her name, Halle Berry was in called Monsters Ball, and how she won an Academy Award for getting porn fucked by a racist white dude whose job it was to execute black men on death row. And nobody picked up on that except me. All the movies that Halle Berry was in, and this was the movie that she won Best Actress for, and was up there just crying like she had won Best Actress for being in Gone with the Wind or some shit. Black women are delusional, okay? You are absolutely delusional to think that after 4 children, and you still in your early 30s, this woman was younger than me. In your early 30s, you have to screw around with a man that isn't your husband. You have to mess around with a man, someone else's husband. No matter what race he is, okay? You're delusional to think that you're gonna fuck another woman's man and everything's gonna be sunny side up. It doesn't work like that. Y'all remember the bimbo in, where was that, Arkansas? She killed the black pastor because he wouldn't leave his wife for her stinking ass. Black women are in such a horrible state in the dating game, on the dating scene, that they literally have to fuck other women's men in order to get dick and attention, a lot of them. Because they can't hold down a man themselves. Now I'm sure there was more than one black man gave this woman multiple children. Not a single one of them was interested in either marrying her or staying with her. And somehow she thinks because she jumps the train tracks to a white man that's married, by the way, and a cop, by the way, and was caught slipping by Tariq Nasheed, caping for white cops, by the way, that all of her troubles are going to be over. Well, I don't mean to make light of death, but I guess technically all her troubles really are over now. But the troubles for her family are just beginning. This was probably one of the dudes back in the day she was messing around with, given that this photo is dated like from nearly 5 years ago. But I don't know how many times I have to tell these broads, you cannot and you will not outrun yourself, okay? If you were more than half a woman's worth of being in a relationship, in a long-term relationship with a man, okay, you would not have to sleep with other women's men. You would not be going from one dick to the next. You would not have to run across the color line and then come running back if, there's a big if, you survive being able to come back, okay? You would not have to worry about going to stay with your parents or living in a domestic violence women's shelter because you were dating a Pookie and Ray Ray or some violent, crazy ass white dude that now he's after you and wants to tear you limb from limb and you got to hide from him and switch, to different places where you live in. You wouldn't have to go through that if you yourself were woman enough to be in a quality relationship with a quality dude, okay? Anybody will tell you that has common sense, and we've heard this saying on several different occasions, you are what the fuck you attract. You're a black woman living in Mississippi with 4 damn kids, unmarried, swirling. And not only swirling, it'd be one thing if you were swirling with a man that was single. That would be one thing. But you're swirling with a white dude that's goofing around, screwing around on his wife, behind his wife's back. And, the other thought bots out there in front of the courthouse, a lot of them were saying that he was buying her stuff. He even bought her a new car in exchange for, I guess, the pussy that she was giving him. And I'm sure she thought that, she was on the come up. She thought she was leveling up. She was leveling up, because she was with this white dude that was giving her a few things for that, that snatch between her legs. But see, going back to what I said, you can't outrun yourself. Because the common mistake that a lot of these black females see, and let me tell you something else. I just had an epiphany. I realized something. A lot of these black women, they're not like Eve. I guarantee you the only reason that Eve is still married to that Englishman that's the millionaire is because she sits down, she shuts the fuck up, and she is a very subservient, obedient little bed wench. If she had all of that mouth and all of that ungrateful attitude that black women give us even after we do things for them, like I did with my ex, there is no way that these white dudes that have something for them. Because I'm not talking about these deadbeat white dudes now. This dude, obviously, he had money and resources if he was buying Dominique, Clayton, all of these gifts in exchange for that used up pussy. But when you pull that shit with a lot of these dudes, these Arab dudes, these white dudes, these Mexican dudes, they doing shit for you. And then you think first of all, you can't run off at the mouth with a lot of these non-black dudes in the first place without getting your ass slapped the fuck back. Okay? Let alone when they're actually providing you with what Cynthia G calls tangible benefits. And you think you're going to go off showing ingrateful, showing your ass, showing an attitude? Because that's what I suspect happened. What I suspect happened is this dude, he's already a cop, okay? So he already has that do as I say type of mentality. Do what I say or else type of mentality, okay? So he was probably a controlling person. And they were probably arguing over, either him confronting her or her confronting him. And in either case, him saying, well, hold up for a second. Okay? No, you don't tell me shit. You ain't got nothing to say to me, okay? I'm getting your raggedy, stinking ass wheels to put you and your 4 illegitimate children in so you can go to church service and listen to your pastor hit that 4-hour sermon every Sunday and then let me beat it up on Monday night the next fucking day. You ain't got nothing to say to me, okay? You ain't got nothing. All you doing is giving me some pussy that I could get from my wife or anybody else, okay? I do what the hell I want to do. See, I suspect that she was probably confronting this dude over some other female that he was messing around with, you know, or something that she wanted, something else that she wanted from him. Because we know this. Females, especially the black ones, they're never satisfied. You give them the world, they want the galaxy. You give them the galaxy, they want the universe. We've all had firsthand experience with this. And in exchange, they actually believe the only thing they have to give you when they feel like it is some cooch. If they feel like it, okay? And I suspect that he was getting tired of her and he was moving on. He was divesting from Horistan. And, you know, they may have still been together, but he was going, you know, in search for some other poontang. May even have been some other black poontang. And she called herself confronting him, even though she didn't have a leg to stand on. Okay? Because think about this logically for a second. They're having an affair, so they're not living in the same house together. What else could they be arguing about? Except resources. And, you know, if someone is messing around on the other one. It kills me how these females, these side chicks, these side hoes, whether they decide to be side hoes for non-black men or black men, they get angry, so beside themselves that they will get in a dude's face and confront him, even try to fight him or set him up, when they're already a side chick. They're already a two drumstick pieces and a side piece side chick. How are you getting mad, ho, when this ain't even your man? This ain't really your man. This is just, you know, a friends with benefits dude that you know, riding a damn sausage with every, you know, a couple of nights every week. How are you getting mad? This ain't even your dude. But see, this is the mentality of these females. You remember David Carroll? He showed all of those fucking romance novels of these whores, and then of course we know about Olivia Pope and Scandal and how successful that franchise was on ABC. These females, they think it's cute to be the side chick. A lot of them, they think that's, you know, they think that's something to brag about or look forward to. Being able to steal another woman's man, to say, yeah, this pussy I got is irresistible. Not even his wife can keep him away from me. They want to, you know, because we know these ratchet black thoughts, they crave dysfunction and drama, which is why the black community looks as fucked up as it did. You saw those idiotic whores and that loud mouth heifer that I guess was her mama out there in front of that damn courthouse. The black community is crawling with these females. And they think they're going to take that dysfunctional, ass-backwards behavior to somebody else's tribe of men. And they're going to be openly accepted. And everything's going to be sunny side up. No, baby. It's like Crystalline Carrison's dumb ass when she took those old aging assholes to that charity event. Desperate assholes look like they're in their 40s and 50s. Trying to hook some, you know, upper middle class or wealthy white dude. That's not how it works, baby. That is not how it works. He's gonna do what he gotta do with you. And when he get done doing his business, just like after he get done taking a shit or piss on the toilet, he's gonna zip his pants up and then he's gonna go on about the rest of his day. Now he may give you, I suspect that the only reason this woman was getting gifts from this dude, including a car, at least according to that one Mississippi hood rat, was probably just to keep her quiet. Because he didn't want it getting out that he was fucking her. Okay? You know, he'll throw you a couple of bones. But he's not leaving his wife for your raggedy ass. That's not how it works. Okay? This is stuff that we should know in the year 2019. Well, those of us who have common sense know this. But then, you mess around with these dudes. And then things get out of hand. And you want to get mad. Or he gets mad and starts coming after you. And you want what? Sympathy? Is that what you want? I mean, ratchetness and recklessness does not lead to successful life and successful results in life. Okay? What you're going to get, it's like a negative and a positive. Okay? You have to have the positive connecting to the back of the negative. If the heads of both the negative and the positive are touching, you're going to have a very bad reaction. You may even short something out. Okay? And one other thing I want to say before I get off here. Now, social media is abuzz with this black female, I assume because of the way black women treated black men back 2 years ago, if y'all recall, during that whole Stephon Clark situation, where he said that the only thing he liked black was his Xbox or some shit like that, and he was dating some ratchet Asian hood rat or something like that. And black women were, openly saying and encouraging other black women to withdraw their support for Stephon Clark in Black Lives Matter because he said that he didn't like and he didn't want to deal with black women, even though he was a socially inept, degenerate spawn of a black female himself, which is why he found himself in that situation. So apparently the big deal that's being made here is that Dominique Clayton, somehow, somewhere, she got the bright idea that not only deifying white men, but deifying and worshiping white police officers was a good idea. And I guess her, because these females, it's like the one that I posted, calling herself co-signing with black men that talk about the shit that black women put them through. That woman had ratchet, I'm a ain't shit ratchet biatch written all over her damn face. Okay? And most brothers like myself could see it. But these females, they think they're slick and they not. What I suspect this chick called herself trying to do was she was probably trying to get, the attention of these white cops because, she's looking at, he has power, he has resources, he's beating these niggas down, he's keeping these Pookies and Ray Rays that I helped spawn. He's keeping them in their place. So this is the type of white man that I want to go for. I know I'm not going to get no Fortune 500 type of white dude. But if I can get close enough to one of these blue collar white cops, and I cape for them hard enough, I pull a Candace Owens, then I'll be able to find my white knight and prince, right? So she settled for this white dude that was, from what I'm hearing, he was married. And she was knowingly having an affair with this dude that was in a relationship with his wife. And she somehow thought that she was safe and, she had it made because she was with a white police officer. And when we scroll, you see there, these posts that she's made kissing white cops' asses have gone viral. This one has like 807 comments, 9 shares. There's been a few people on YouTube and other social media platforms like Tariq Nasheed and Cynthia G that have caught wind of how hard she was kissing the asses of white cops. And I'm just going to keep scrolling here. But, what you see is pretty much a replica. It's almost like deja vu of all of these swirlers who are really nothing more than they're failed relationship pursuers that can't get any man of any relationship that they can actually call their own. So they like to play these little tricks and traps, these little tricks to try to trap men. And in a lot of cases, whether they're still fucking around with thugs or whether they start, swirling with these white men, it blows up in their fucking face. Okay? I mean, where this, and look, let me be let me be abundantly clear on this. Okay? I've had my negative run-ins with punk ass white cops that shouldn't have badges, but I have absolutely no problem with, and I have stood by this for years, I have no problem with a cop of any color that comes to work every day, does their job, okay, and clocks out, okay? I have no problem with a person who, you know, conducts police business in a professional manner, okay? If you catch one of these Pookies and Ray Rays out here on the street doing dumb shit, lock their ass up, okay? If they try you, you put them down. I have no problem with that, okay? But we also know at the same time that there have been a laundry list of cases. There have been a laundry list of cases of white cops outright murdering not just black men, but white men too. I seen it in both cases. Just the cop at University of Cincinnati, that cop that blew that black guy's brains out at that traffic stop, okay? That was murder, okay? The cop that shot that black guy in the back, I mean, he shouldn't have been running or struggling with him, but he shot the dude in the back 8 times. That cop in Chicago who only got like 3 years for pinning Laquan McDonald to the ground. Now, granted, Laquan McDonald was high on PCP, but, you know, at the same time, once he shot him, he didn't have to keep shooting him once he was on the ground. That was uncalled for. So we know that there are, you know, rogue elements inside of the police force. I told y'all. And trust me, sooner or later, that audio that I have is going to come out of that punk-ass Illinois State Police Lieutenant Commander defending a trooper that admitted that he wrongfully pulled me over because he pressed the wrong fucking button on his fucking police computer and my car came up as stolen. And saying that they could have ran a felony stop on me if they wanted to, whether they made a mistake or not. We know this is not all police, okay? But we know that these types of cops exist, and they're not all white. There's a lot of black cops that act like this. There have been a lot of Hispanic cops that have gunned these Negroes down too. That Geronimo, whatever his name was, that killed Philando Castile back in 2016. So we know this type of shit goes on. But black men, this should be a reminder of just where the black American female's mind is at, okay? All of these hoes, and I'm sure if I scroll back enough, if I scroll far enough back in Dominique Clayton's Facebook status, I will see where she supported Black Lives Matter at one time and was, you know, partaking on social media in reacting to some of these police-involved shootings where the cop was clearly unjustified, okay? They pretend like they give a fuck about you until Whitey comes around, until they can get close enough to his dick and his money and his resources. And then all of a sudden, it's like they don't know you. It's like they're a different person, like they're speaking a different language from you, okay? This woman is caping for police in the state of Mississippi, a state which for decades, I don't believe so much so now, but in the past, a state which historically for decades has had known ties between its local and state law enforcement agencies and the Ku Klux Klan. And she thought she was being cute. And we also told y'all, as I've showed in several different videos, that a lot of these black females have been not only dating and screwing white men, they have been knowingly dating and screwing racist white men, including back in Jim Crow, when they were, at the same time that they were stringing your black ass up on a damn tree or burning you alive because you slept with some white woman, okay? So you have to know where you're at with these females. Now, Ms. Dominique Clayton, she thought like Crystal and Karazin's minions, and the suicidal path of failure that she's sending them down. She thought that she was leveling up by caping and fronting and pretending to, want to support cops. And she was not doing this. I guarantee you, if I scroll down, I'm not going to do that. If I scroll down far enough in her timeline, when you saw the pictures earlier of her like half a decade ago with black men that she was screwing around with, some of whom gave her children, I guarantee you she was not caping for cops as hard as she's been caping for them within the last year or so. She was doing this for the same reason that Fifel was on that video hitting talking points that she thought black men wanted to hear. The same reason Candace Owens is the house slave of the alt-right. Okay? No matter what side of the train tracks these females jump on, when they're on that side of the train tracks, they will either hit talking points or they will put up this facade pretending to be completely with the type of men that they're trying to get close enough to, get impregnated by, or find some simp stupid enough to marry them, or, share resources with them, or in this case, buy them gifts. Okay? But all of these females are pretty much the fucking same. If they have, look, I told y'all with that female that was, hitting those talking points with her fake looking ass. I told you, if they have multiple children and they're like in their late 20s, early to mid 30s, and they still don't have a husband or a boyfriend or significant other in their lives, you can guarantee one or two things. Either they're messing around with some other woman's dude, or they're single and they're looking to mess around with someone else's dude, whether he be white or black. But at the end of the day, they don't have and they can't get their own man. And if they get him, they can't keep him. Because most of them, no matter how hard they try to cape like this female was doing, the true them is going to come out. The only problem for them is when the true them comes out, when they be, caping and kissing the asses and doing other things with these white and non-black dudes, they turn on that BT 1000 that Tommy Sotomayor talks about, and they start to bite like they do us Negroes. But every so now and often, these non-black men bite their motherfucking ass back. And apparently that's what happened to Miss Clayton. Nothing more really needs to be said. Talk to you later, guys.